Uh-huh.
Does that match your video up? Okay. If we need to shut them off.
Okay. We'll just start out with that. I guess we're going to wait on a couple more people. Okay. Is it warm enough outside for you? Yeah? Y'all are going to have to help talk. I'll pass around some projects here. So anyone that takes the puzzle apart gets to put it back together. $5 if you can get it back together. That's a challenge. It is actually harder for my students to put the puzzles together than it is to machine them. Send those around. All of the projects I'm passing around are what we made in the manual machining shop, except for this one. We make this one in the CNC lab. There you go. Is this everybody? Okay. A couple more projects. Have a little cannon. Move this around. And Jennifer, I'll talk to you about this one. This is kind of what we're thinking about doing on our day. We'll do something.
Cool. Very cool.
So you just got to come up with a design. You do your part. All right. My name is Cynthia Johnson, and I teach across the campus. I teach machining. So, how many of you guys know what machining is? Okay, just about what I thought. So, machining is where you use machines to make parts, kind of the parts I'm passing around. So, how many of you drive? How many of you have a bicycle? How many of you eat? Okay. So, and, you know, kind of hope we wear clothes every day. So all of those things, every single thing that touches your life has machining in it. So if you think about chicken nuggets, how many people like chicken nuggets? Right? So you have chicken nuggets. Somebody has to make the die that makes the shapes, right? So we're not making the nuggets, we're making the forms that they come out in all those fun shapes. We make the molds for the body parts on the cars. We do, machining pretty much touches every single point, but very few people know what machining is. So I'm here to talk very briefly about what machining is and what kind of career that can lead to. So I started machining 37 years ago. I'm 54. I started when I was 17. And I went to Wake Tech Community College in 1981. And I was the only girl. So that is one thing about machining manufacturing is there's not a lot of women. And I'm here to promote that because we need the diversity. When you get more groups of people together, you come up with better ideas. So keep that in mind. So I started school, and there were 100 guys in that class, and it was just me. And they told me that nursing was down the hall. And I said, all right, I know where to go when I get hurt. And I sat down. And I graduated second in the class. Okay? Woo. So from there, I was a machinist, tool, and die maker for about 13 years. And then I decided to take a change in my career. And I joined a company named Caterpillar. Does anybody know what Caterpillar is? So what do? Construction, equipment, things, you know, trucks, bulldozers, big stuff. They don't make little things, they make big stuff. So my last job with Cat, I was with Cat for 25 years. So what started as a drafting position, I turned into a 25-year career with Caterpillar. And the last job I had was setting up a plant in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So how many of you knew there was a plant in Winston-Salem? Cool. They actually made axles for large mining trucks, made the rear axles. We machined them, assembled them, tested, painted, and shipped. So I want to show you the next view. So this is the world's largest dump truck, and we made the axles for this one, and it actually holds 400 tons of material. That's how much the bucket can hold.
How much does a normal hold?
They start out, the quarry and construction trucks start out at about a 40 ton. So to give you an idea, that kind of shows the perspective. So that's the rear axle, and that's the guy. So there's nothing like a picture. So the rear axle was actually 31 feet long and 103,000 pounds. And we machined them in sections. The reason I'm showing you this is that I got to this point to be able to be essentially the quality manager of the facility by starting out in machining. Okay? Plus a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. So that kind of gives you a perspective. This truck out in the field cost about $5 million. So when the guy buys it, what happens is they send all the parts to the mine. And then there's teams of people, it's pretty cool, they put it together. And then they crank it up. So this is where the transmission attaches to. So if they put it in gear and it doesn't go, are they happy? Mm-mm. No, they're not happy. So we have to do a lot of things to make sure that whatever we're doing, when it gets out to the field, it's going to work, okay? So that's just kind of a brief view. So real quickly, to introduce you to what machining is, I have a little video of what we do in the shop. So, do we have sound?
That's all right. No, two of them. There we go. We got two.
Thank you.
And then you can go up or down on both of these.
Okay.
Okay. Whichever you need.
There we go. So this is a milling operation. So this kind of just gives you a brief view of what we're doing. We're using tools to cut shapes. It's essentially what machining is. Pictures of the shop. We've done a lot of improvements in the shop. This is a project, they had to make 16 working air engines. And they all had to run at the same time. And they did. So this was actually a summer project where I run it like a true machine shop. I took them about 3 weeks to get those parts made. And I forgot to bring one. Love them. This is an offset run. So if you think of anything like a cam, and it looks a little discombobulating. So that's a lathe where we make round parts. So this is the puzzle project. So we're just facing the parts down to size. You see those puzzles, the puzzles going around. We have to make each individual piece, and then they all have to fit together. The main thing about machining is whatever you make is going to have to fit something else, right? And that may be in your own facility, or that may be something that's made in Germany, or something that's put together in Canada. What we do is teach you the skills to be able to do that. So right there, I make them inspect the parts, because it's one thing to be able to make them, but you have to make them to print. So on that dial, from the 0 to the 2 is the thickness of your hair. They actually held them pretty good. That was my student graduated this spring, and I think for the first time we actually had a student of the year out of the machining program. It was an awesome student. So just some more, that's the computer machines that you also learn how to run. Cool. So when we talk about machining, we have to talk about the overhead. We're kind of done with this now, so I don't know where to turn the projector off. This is so neat compared to what we have. Thank you. We have to talk about manufacturing. So how many of you have ever worked in manufacturing? Worked on an assembly line, worked in a mill? Just so, raise them up. Come on. So just a few of you. So to those that haven't raised your hands or some younger folks, why haven't you considered manufacturing? You get to tell me. I remember you from last time.
Me?
Mm-hmm. You had something on your foot, didn't you?
I'm on it now.
Good. So when you hear the word manufacturing, what comes to mind? Dirty? Unsafe? Any of that? Low skilled? Does anybody think, well, they're not skilled enough? Back in my day, when you took shop, that's kind of where the dumb kids went.
It's like a manly job.
Man, it's just for men. That's a big hurdle for some people. It's none of those things, okay? It is none of them. So the facilities now are exceptionally clean. I wish I would have had some pictures of the cat plant, or pretty much any plant. Now you go into small job shops, they're not going to be as clean. So what's going on is that we have lost generations of people that have these skills. We have nobody that does this work anymore for various reasons. Because my parents say I have to go to college, real college, 4-year college, or I'm not strong enough, or I don't want to be with the shop people for whatever reason. And now there's about, 3.5 million jobs that are going to go unfilled between now and 2024 because no one's out there doing it. So my students that just graduated, we have companies coming in before they graduate competing for the students, right? John Deere in Kernersville, $21 an hour starting pay. Full benefits. And after you're there for a year, they'll pay for your education if you want to go back to school for something else. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. The benefits are very important. Ruger. Now, they don't pay as high, but you can get in there about $11, $12 an hour, right? And that's with a certificate. You don't have to go for the associates. John Deere is a year. They're not requiring an associate's degree. So there's a lot of jobs out there, a lot of jobs that need to be filled. And so you can start out in machining, just like I did. Started out with a 1 year. Back then we didn't have associates for machining, things like that. So started out with that and did that for about 13 years, and I joined Caterpillar as a drafter at $8.25 an hour. I'd never drafted in my life, but I've looked at blueprints for 13 years, and I said, well, it can't be that hard. It was a little difficult, so I was on a quick learning curve because it was on computer, but I was a contract employee. So after that, they had a job posting come up for a hydraulics design engineer. Because someone's got to design the way the buckets lift and, you dump and the boom swings and all that. And I'm like, well, I can do that. I'm not an engineer, but I can do that. And they hired me because I had 12 years machining. So I will tell you now, if you are interested in engineering, it's quicker to go get a 4-year mechanical engineering degree. I had to work 12 years in the shop to get the equivalent experience. But I was the only engineer in the plant that could make the parts that I designed. So I knew. So I was better at designing because I knew how to machine them. So for about 10 years, I did engineering design work. And during that time, I got to go all over the world. Caterpillar sent me to England. I thought my first time I went, I was there for 3 weeks, and I bought everything. I bought beer. I bought Crystal. I bought little Mini Cooper, little cars. That's where we really had them over here. And by the time it was all said and done, I had been over to England over 36 times. So it kind of wore off. They sent me to Paris. Now, that's cool. Well, I was underneath a tractor for 5 days, but that's okay. I still got to see the city. So I've been all over France, Germany, Italy, Rome, Munich, a lot of cool, fun places. And that's because I designed it. I'm the best one to go out there and work on it. So after I did that, I got to a certain point and they said, if you don't have a 4-year degree, you're going to kind of be here. So I could have been very, very fine just saying, okay, I'll be here. Nope, wanted to keep going. So Caterpillar paid for my 4-year degree. I worked at the time. So when you do new designs, I did new designs. I had to continue working. My days are about 12, 14 hours a day. I was married, had a son. I was also taking care of my mom. But it was worth it. So go to school, get it done. Graduated. A month after I graduated, I got a promotion. And I was a supplier quality supervisor. So I was responsible for all the material that came into the plant. And I started at a plant in Clayton, North Carolina. Does anybody know where that is? It's on the other side of Raleigh, right? Johnson County, Joco. So out there, and all we did was assemble, no machining, just assembled backhoes and wheel loaders. So how many of you guys know what a backhoe is? Got the front bucket and the boom on the back, right? Our plant could put out 52 a day. 52 backhoes a day, right? That's a lot of backhoes. That'll be one in every driveway for that. So from there, I was responsible for supplier quality. So my worst supplier was a Caterpillar supplier in Joliet, Illinois. So has anybody ever heard of Joliet, Illinois? Has anybody ever seen the Blues Brothers? Joliet, Jake? So Joliet is a town right outside of Chicago. So I'm essentially born and raised North Carolina, and I got sent to Chicago. Moved up there because the valve line that I complained so much about, they said, well, you go fix it, and moved me up there to do that. So I became an operations manager over a machining line. So now I'm back in machining, and it was like I had never left it, right? So it was a union shop, which was a little difficult. But so I got this really cool experience for 4.5 years to live in right outside of Chicago. It's cold, but they have really good food. You know, downtown Chicago is a lot of fun. So during that time, I did a couple different jobs, and then I got selected to set up a plant in Winston-Salem. So I was on a team of about 12 people that got to develop and design a 1 million square foot facility. And it was absolutely astounding. And how did I start doing that? Because of machining. So after a little bit of time there, I said, I'm done. I'm ready for a break. I've climbed as high as I'm ready to climb. And now I'm teaching here because I saw we had a really big need when we had the machinists come in. They just didn't really know what to do. Their training wasn't where I thought it should be, the education level. So not only do we look at can you physically turn apart or do something, do you show up to work every day? Do you participate in teamwork? Do you have a good attitude, right? So those skills are just as important, or what I would consider some of them more important, as to your technical ability. So in my class, during the normal semesters, 60% of your grade is based on did you show up? When you showed up, were you in a good mood or a bad mood? Now, everybody's got moments. I'm one of them. But by and large, do you want to come in every day and you say, good morning, and someone goes, whatever. What does that do to you? You're like, oh, God, person is so negative all the time. So we work on those skills as well, right? We do a lot of teamwork projects, communication. Working in manufacturing can be quite aggressive, right? It is go, 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 go. You've got a customer that needs 10,000 of these parts, right? Machines are breaking down, people aren't showing up, you don't get the raw material in, you're scrambling, and you've got to know how to keep a cool head, how to be flexible, and how to just get in there as a team and get the job done, right? Because if you don't meet the customer requirement, what's going to happen to the customer? They're going to go somewhere else. Someone else is going to make them. So I guess just to before we just open it up for discussion, I've taken something that was a lot of people look at as low class, blue collar, whatever, and turned it into an amazing career. So I said I started CAT at $8.25 an hour. Does that sound awesome? Now that was 1994 or 1990 something. I don't know what that equates to now. I don't have my calculator. It's not much, right? So what do you guys consider good money? Like, is the goal of everyone here to be able to be on their own, to be financially stable enough to, survive and eat? Does everybody have that goal? Mm-hmm. All right. It's not live in your mama's basement. That is not the goal. It's get out, right? So what to you is a good living? How much would you have to earn?
She said I put 20 on that.
How much? Y'all got to talk. 25 an hour? Okay. 50 an hour? Oh, you live good on that.
Oh, man.
Not in Chicago. Rockingham County, definitely. So I've got 50 and 25. Anybody else?
I'm going to be reasonable, and I'm going to say like 18.
18?
Yeah.
You do well on 18, especially if you have a good benefits package. We talked about that.
Right now, that'd be great.
Starting out, right? So, again, $8.25 an hour as a contract employee. When I left, it was over $135,000 a year. I was very comfortable on that, right? But with that comes a lot. It's work-life balance. It's a ton of stress. I told you it can be a stressful environment. But the reason I bring it up is because the opportunity is there. In every one of these jobs that are vacant right now, they'll train you, they'll essentially cultivate you to their culture, right? And then they want to promote you. They don't want to lose that, because there's other companies out there and they'll take you, right? This company trains you and another one says, ooh, $2 an hour more, you're going to jump. Right? Not very many people stay with companies anymore, so they're going to do everything they can to promote from within. So the same opportunities I had, you guys have a better shot at it now, because the companies really want you. The environments are safe. They're clean. If it's not safe, what happens to the employees? Y'all get hurt. If you're hurt, are you on the job? No. So they're going to take a lot of time to make sure that the work area is safe. There's a huge push for continuous improvement. It's a product of lean manufacturing, and we do lean manufacturing in the class. So they want your ideas. So you're not just a person down there running the machine. You're the person that is the subject matter expert, right? Hey, if you make this tool path go a little like this, I've calculated that over 1,000 parts we could save 6 minutes of cycle time or something. Right? Well, over a year, that's a ton of money. So they want your ideas. They want you to be a part of the team. It's not just you're a number out there on the shop floor anymore. So with all that, and I've been rambling, does anybody have any questions? What's it like to work in a shop? Anything? How many of you like to work with your hands? Come on. So I got a t-shirt that says it. This is my marketing t-shirt, by the way. So working with your hands. So let me give you the two options. All of you are sitting behind computers, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of how long is your day here? Don't say too long. How long is it? About 4 hours? So at the end of the day, what do you have to show for it? Sitting behind that computer for 4 hours. What can you hold in your hand? Your diploma. That's very good. It's going to take a lot more than just the 4 hours, right? So I machine, and my job is to make these. At the end of my day, I started out with a pallet of cubes. Over here, I can tangibly touch. This is what I did today, right? So I can see it. A lot of people that are hands-on are not going to do well sitting behind a computer all day. They don't feel like they're being very productive. So if you like to feel like you're productive, like you've made a difference, think about this as being incubator pumps for NICU units. Somebody's got to make them, right? So now at the end of the day, you've made 150 pumps that are going to go out to hospitals. Or you like making car engines or race engines or whatever. At the end of it, you can touch it, you can see it. The cool thing about working at CAT is I could drive down the road and see my equipment. And that really felt good. I did that. That was myself, my team. I gathered a group of people or whatever, and we accomplished that. Now, sometimes there's a service truck in front of it, so maybe we didn't do that well. But it's still, it's an amazing thing at the end of the day to have said, I've done this. So how many of you are computer people? Like you could just sit behind computers all day?
Good.
So we've got some, maybe not. So how many of you like to feel at the end of the day you've been productive? Yeah? Okay, so with the machining, you're out in the shop. Now, most people have manual machines, and that's for their tool rooms or for repair. The manual machines are not usually used for production. They use computer numerical controlled, or CNC, for production. CNC is programmed. So somebody's got to sit behind the computer and program it. And it's G and M code. G00 or G00 is rapid. G01 is feed. M08 is cooling on, cooling off. So you are the one at that point that gets to take the print and write the program for it, and then someone else is on the shop floor hitting the button. Right? So you get the best of both worlds. You get to go up to your desk, write the program, and when it doesn't run right, which it rarely does the first time, you're down on the shop floor troubleshooting and helping that person. So you're actually going to become a mentor to them as well. Right? I want to be like she is. I want to be that person. Right? Someone has to check the parts. They have to program machines that actually we have computers that check parts. So someone has to do that job. Someone has to be the drafter to draft the parts. There's manufacturing engineers that have to go out and buy the machines and do the planning of, oh great, we got a job. We have to make 1,000 of these. Do we have the equipment? No, but I'll go buy it. And this is what we make. So my class actually did this. These were in the toolbox. I said, those are just nasty looking. So we reverse engineered it and we made our own. So there are lots and lots of jobs that can come out of just machining. So, but some people like to machine. Some good friends of mine been machinists 35 years. They love it. So a lot of opportunity, good money, great working conditions, good benefits. How many of you might consider it? I got 1, 2, 3. So for the other ones, why not? Fair enough. I like the fact you said that. What else? Come on, you didn't raise your hand. Are you sitting on it? Why wouldn't you consider it? Doesn't interest you? Anybody else?
I want to point out something. You do all this like machine work and stuff. Your nails are done. Your nails are pretty.
They're short.
Well, yeah, but they're still.
They're short. Yeah. Yep. So you can still be a girly girl. Yeah.
That's what I
You can. So I do struggle with the ones that are like the.
Oh yeah, long. I don't have.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that. But yeah, I don't do it very often. But
ironic that you do stuff like
I can do that. Wear little earrings. Now we don't wear dangly earrings because I don't want to get you caught in a machine. Hair is pulled up. That's guys as girls. If the hair's below the shoulders, it's got to go up. Again, we want to keep it on your head, not wrapped around a tool. But you can. I mean, you can still be you. Right? Now, I do wear steel toes, but they're fun because they have, I got to show it, they have a vine pattern on the back. So when I kick them, at least they look pretty. So, yeah, so I mean, I've worn steel toes pretty much my whole life, but you can wear jeans. A lot of companies have uniforms. They say it builds a camaraderie, have uniforms in the shop. But yeah, so for those of you that may be a little too shy to say why, I appreciate the feedback I did get, why you wouldn't be interested. I'm out here like pounding the pavement. We have got to get people in this, right? So if you tell me why you're not interested, and you can tell Jennifer and she'll shoot me an email or whatever, some ideas of what you think I could do to make it more interesting. because you may not know if you're really interested or not. So what we've actually done is I partnered with Jennifer, and we're going to do a field trip into the shop where you guys are actually going to be hands-on and make something. Okay? So we're going to use, now I've given her an assignment, and maybe she'll send it out to you. We need a design. Oh, look, it's lunchtime. My shop is like Vegas, man. There are no clocks. Because if I had clocks in there, I was like, what time is it? Not watching what they're doing. What time is it? So she's going to come up or send out something for a design, right? You're going to have a design. And we're actually going to program that and cut it on the CNC. And then you're going to take that part and you're going to come into the manual shop, and we're going to have you running machines. You're going to do a face mill and get the other side cleaned up. You're going to drill some holes, ream some holes, and then you'll actually have something that you can put on a keychain or something like that, right? So I think we've tentatively planned a date. It's not firm yet, so I'm not going to announce. It's firm with me.
So it's July 13th. It's Friday the 13th.
Great day to get you in the shop. Woo!
And so I have a sign-up sheet. Miss Rodriguez is really like overseeing this. Y'all all know Miss Rodriguez. So we just need to know who wants to come, and we're going to invite the people that go to class off campus too, and the night students too. But we really hope those of you that are already here in the day class on Friday mornings that y'all will go. Miss Rodriguez and I are going to go. We're very excited about it. And I think if you're a person that thinks like, I don't know, maybe I would like this, maybe I would, we really want you to go, because nobody gave me the opportunity to try out being the director, for instance. You know, they just make you show up. So it's nice if you can try it out first.
And it's
See before you go to school for a year or 2 years. Just find
Yeah.
out if it's something that you might like to do.
It's also good to find out, hey, this isn't for me, right? Now I can kind of go a little different direction instead of investing time and effort in something that, 6 months into it, you're like, I really don't want to do this. Yes?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If we finish this class before that date, can we still
Yes,
cancel
we're
it?
going to invite people that have already graduated too.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Let me show you. I gave you the...
We passed it.
Okay. Nobody tried the puzzle? Did you do it? Trats. I didn't bring money.
How long is the program?
So the program can be a certificate, and I've got the flyers up here. Certificate, I believe, is 1 semester.
6 weeks.
Yeah, it's just 1 semester, 16 credit hours. So that's 16 weeks. And it's blueprint reading, safety, machining, metrology, which is where I teach you how to use the gauges. It's not meteorology on whether or not it's hot or cold. CNC turning and CNC milling. So you get hands on the machines as well as the CNCs. You get to learn how to read some blueprints. Then it goes up to a 1-year diploma, which is 3 semesters, and then you have your 2-year degree as well. So I'll leave these up here. Any further comments, questions? Did you learn anything that you didn't know?
Do you
Yeah.
have any women students right now?
No, I don't.
Girl, find a
I
husband.
Those aren't the ones I want, Jennifer. So to me, and we just had the welding. So for all of us down in there, it's the welding, HVAC, machining. We love it when we get the female students because they work harder. Because they feel like they have to prove themselves, right? They tend to be a little more detail-oriented. And if you're short, we have platforms. You can stand up on the platform. We do lift. The heaviest part we lift is 70 pounds. I'm 54 and I can still lift it. I have some guys in there that are like, I can't lift that. And I'm like, here, let me show you. So we have safe ways of doing things. So, yeah, we'd love to have them. Wendy, who just finished, she's just finishing up the welding. She got Student of the Year for the welding program.
Quick question.
Yes.
Do you have to, like, for people, like students or something that's
not in this campus, do you have to have your, diploma to be in that, class? Like for.
Someone had asked that,
For people like coming.
and I think Laura Coffey was working out a way to get them in there, that they could be doing it like together. I'm not sure, but I will find that out, and we'll get that information back. So there is still some time for fall, just saying.
Want to sign up, do they go through admissions or do they come to?
So before you sign up, I'm trying a new marketing thing. I want you to come to the shop. So if you come on the field trip and you go, yep, I want to do it, then you go to admissions. If you can't make the field trip or you want some little more information, if you call me, set up a time, I'll spend some time with you in the shop and just, make sure. And I'll ask a lot of questions and we'll figure out, is this right? I'm not going to put you in it if I don't think you're going to enjoy it, right? If you don't like what you're doing, find something else to do, because you're going to make yourself miserable and you're going to make me miserable trying to get you to do what you don't want to do. So, but yeah, you can go through admissions. You can come down to the shop. I'm there Monday through Thursday.
Where is the shop?
So, it's across the walkway from Humanities. So we're in the back of the campus until we get the new building. Yep.
So if there's ever any program that you really want to see like that you're interested in, you can always talk to Ms. Rodriguez, and she'll set that up for you too. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yep.
We're happy to help you to do that.
Great questions. Anything else? Yes.
Are they day classes or night classes?
These are day classes. These are during the day.
Monday through Friday?
Pretty much. So for the summer class, it's Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 3. That's when I have my students. So I run it like a real shop. Most shops you're going to be at first shift either between 6 and 7 a.m. So getting them in there early kind of replicates what you see out in the regular workforce. Plus, I don't want to work Fridays. And they don't want to be there Friday.
He's going to work Friday the 13th.
I will be working Friday the 13th. Yes, I will be. So I think it ought to be a lot of fun, especially if you guys get to have a say in what may go on the little part. And then you get to think about it. We'll put it on there, so you designed it, and then you made it. It's pretty cool. All right. Okay. Thank you. So turn this off before I say something bad. Yay!